He had prejudged the outcome as a witness in that actual investigation?
Well, I don't know if it means he prejudged the outcome, but I think the fact that he was a witness means he couldn't also be a lawyer in the case. I mean, that's the kind of a core tenet of legal ethics, professional ethics, which is a lawyer can't be a witness in the same case. And so I think probably, Nicole, your point is taken that Rod Rosenstein should have stepped aside, should have recused himself from the beginning once he was used as a justification for the firing of Comey.
Matt Miller joins us. Matt, we've had a lot of conversations about the curious twists and turns of Rod Rosenstein's. I believe he's multiple tours of duty at the U.S. Justice Department. I'm guessing this one was surreal even for him. But this reporting in the Washington Post that describes a conversation that he had with the president when, as I said before, his back was against the wall, thought he would be fired. If you take that again and hold it up with the way it ended, with Rosenstein and Barr being the two men who decided after Robert Mueller wouldn't or couldn't that the obstruction case didn't amount to criminal conduct, it certainly makes this reporting from Matt and his colleagues all the more intriguing.
It is a deeply disturbing report because what it shows is unethical conduct by the Deputy Attorney General. Even without the way the investigation ended, just having this conversation with the president himself and giving the president this assurance is just an unethical thing for the deputy to do. In any case, he shouldn't be talking to the president about an investigation into the president under any circumstances. And he shouldn't be giving him assurances about how that investigation will end. And he especially shouldn't be doing it at a time where he's begging and pleading for his own job. And I think this goes to, this question that Heilman referenced earlier about people trying to understand Rod Rosenstein for several years. And I think most people have gotten it wrong. And the way to understand Rod is that he's weak. And he's always been weak. He was weak at the beginning of this investigation when he signed off on the Comey firing and gave the president the excuse, despite we now know, having read the Mueller report, that he knew why the president was firing Comey, that it was over the Russia investigation. He was weak when the president pressured him to open a counter investigation into the investigation, into how it started, to ask the Inspector General to do it. He did that despite there being no predicate, despite knowing it was the president trying to undermine the investigation. And then he was weak when he signed on to Bill Barr's, dishonest, misleading press conference and dishonest, misleading letter about the end of the investigation. He didn't have to do any of those things. And when you take the fact that he gave this assurance to the president, and then he did land the plane in a way that was acceptable to the president, despite the underlying facts being, being almost in some cases the opposite of how he and the Attorney General portrayed them, I think it raises real questions about the way the Deputy Attorney General has performed his job.
So, Matt Miller, let me ask you a question my 7-year-old asks me every day. What happens next? Are you with Jeremy Bash if this calls out for congressional hearings?
It absolutely does. Look, he's only going to be there for the next month, but that's plenty of time for him to go up and explain himself to Congress. And